Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fataris' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fataris. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this week we have Project Neon. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. From developer Fullset, Project Neon released in late 2024 for the Neo Geo. This title is a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up released for retro hardware. So that being the case, its availability is a little bit limited. If you're looking to go and pick this one up, you're only going to be able to get copies at this time for the Neo Geo AES or MVS systems. However, if you do get the chance to play this one, it's a solid, challenging vertical scroller that's well worth your time to try. I do want to thank Shoot the Core for lending us his copy as well as the hardware used in this review. Finding ourselves at the main menu, the game does support 2-player simultaneous co-op, so that's how we'll be demoing it for you today. Starting the game. So this is the horizontal scrolling version of the title. As far as your controls are concerned, they will be in the correct orientation for a horizontal scroller. I do really appreciate the developer for including that mode in this game. So with our controls out of the way, as far as your attack options are concerned, we have a primary main shot, and it's possible to level that one up from level 1 all the way up to level 5. You can also get a wide, which will add additional shots firing in the 4 diagonals from the ship, and we also have a powerful beam weapon that kind of acts as your bomb for this particular title, and this is it in action. So as far as the beam's concerned, it deals heavy damage to the enemies. In addition to that, it also makes you temporarily invulnerable, and it will clear enemy shots, so it's actually a really good attack option. But you only start with 1 per life. It is possible to collect more, up to a total of 3, and you do that with these power-ups. So the power-ups in this title are one of those really fun elements. So it's they come in this circle where you have the main shot, you have the beam, and you have the main shot, you have the beam, and you have the wide, all on the same power-up. If you're able to get yourself into the center of the power-up circle, then you'll collect all 3. However, it's difficult to do so as you need to hold yourself there for a brief period of time. Like so. When you can pull it off correctly, it's very satisfying to get all 3 power-ups at the same time. One element I do like about this Stage 1 is it does a good job of introducing you to the difficulty of the game. In addition to that, I do feel that the length is almost perfect for a shoot 'em up, as we find ourselves just about at the first boss. So the boss fights are one of the really awesome elements in Project Neon. So each of the bosses is broken up into multiple segmented fights. So you can see on the health bar there at the bottom, there are 3 segments to the boss's health bar, and in each segment will have a slightly different version of the fight itself. So in the first segment of this boss fight, it adds the overall dock that it launches into. The second time we have some additional guns, and the final version of the fight, it's a more streamlined, tighter version of the ship itself. Once you defeat the boss, we do have a bit of a stage clear where we're given bonuses for the remaining ships that you have, as well as your beam, and then the chain bonus. So the chain isn't something we have talked about so far, but you can see the chaining when we get more than 10 enemies defeated in a row. Those will go and appear on the bottom right of the screen, and not only that, but you'll also get a different color for your shots. so that you can see how far you've progressed through the chain, and also the decay for the timer itself. So as far as from a graphical standpoint is concerned, I do really like the color palettes that are used for Project Neon. In addition to that, we have some really fun enemy designs and some neat backgrounds. There's also some nice little elements to the background itself where like you'll have some movement or just some of the enemies that we attack are also part of the background itself. There's also a little bit of parallax going on throughout the gameplay as well. And there you have it. That's the basis for Project Neon. As far as length is concerned, the game itself is a total of 5 stages. And overall, I feel the first couple stages scale pretty evenly from difficulty, but one thing that we have encountered in the gameplay is things start to scale up fairly significantly starting at level 4. So there is kind of this difficulty spike, and at least initially when you're playing the game, it can be jarring. So when you do play this title, that is something that you should expect, is for the game to spike once you hit level 4. In addition to that, some of the sound effects just come across as pretty muted. The explosions in particular, when you defeat a boss, it just feels a little bit just too soft and weak. It doesn't go and have that impact that you're looking for from the awesomeness of destroying a multi-staged challenging shoot-'em-up boss. So it would have been nice if there was just a little bit more going on from the sound effects standpoint there. But as far as the plus flavors are concerned, so the boss fights as well as the enemy designs on a whole are a real treat in this particular title. So you have great sprite work for the bosses, the fights are well designed and have a decent amount of thought put into them. And then there's also the element of the co-op as well. So it's great to have a title like this choose to support 2-player co-op, and it performs pretty well. There are a few elements or a few areas where it feels like there's a bit more slowdown when you have 2 players there, but for the most part, like 2 players really does help make this a great experience, as it helps you with crowd control and some of the more challenging sections of the game as things do start to ramp up. And the last plus flavor is just the uniqueness of this title as is. A new Neo Geo title released in 2024 is not an easy feat to pull off, so especially for a new developer to take on that challenge and ultimately pull it off, it's something that's special to see. And although the availability of this title is on the lighter side, if you do get the chance to play it, I would highly encourage you to go and do so. Hopefully further down the line we'll see the release extend beyond the initial platforms that we have available for it. Maybe something like the Neo Geo CD, or possibly even a PC release, or maybe some other consoles as well. It'd be great to go and have this title available for wider audiences, as I do think it's a shoot 'em up that's worth your time, especially if you're looking for just a challenging retro inspired title. And with that, we find ourselves at the end of this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, we want to thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope you have a wonderful week yourself, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.